We all go a little mad sometimes.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
They're here.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm a ripped Confederate flag, and you're listening to... And I want to be in the sequel.
And I'm so disappointed in this film. I'm holding no standards, and I definitely don't want to see a sequel. I'm Nathan. Hi.
I actually do. I want more of this.
And you're listening to They're Here
podcast.
A discussion.
A disembowelment, which really
A lot of
applies to this.
disembowelments, actually.
There's goods.
And of all things, fear.
Horror.
And you want to say...
We fucked it up. And the macabre.
And the macabre.
Macabre. But, so we are talking about 2022's, I guess, technically, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No, the.
Yeah.
Straight to Netflix. Initially planned for a theatrical release. I, along with you, Nathan, were hyped when we got that original poster, which gave me Texas Chainsaw 03 vibes of that, where it was like just a monster.
Yeah, it looked very. It's kind of like my favorite poster at the moment because it's very surrealistic.
Just the one where it's all paint with the kind of face in the middle.
I like it. It's very like
kind of
Jackson
Frankenstein-ish.
Pollock meets Frankenstein. Yeah, I like it.
It's good.
Fun.
It's good.
Directed by David BLue Garcia, who,
unfortunately, I will say that's no hate on him, but our original director was Fede Alvarez.
Yeah,
who hearing his name attached to this gave me hope, because I was like, I really fucking liked that Evil Dead remake / sequel. I guess we would call it a requel nowadays, but it was 2011. So, but fucking hell, I think
this movie, bro.
I'm not gonna shit on the movie just yet. I think I'll close half my asshole off and take kind of half a shit on this movie. But yeah,
okay.
It gave me what I wanted. It gave me what I expected.
Okay, start off. Okay, I had low expectations, so I was not disappointed.
Okay.
Out of 5 stars being it is the next, Alfred Hitchcock film, the next Jaws. I'm giving this a solid 2.
Which is a half. It's kind of a 5 out of 10 star situation.
Well, look, okay, there's 2 things that are saving graces of this film. A is the gore and the blood and the guts, which we have a plenty of. And B is Colin Stetson's on the track, man.
Which I only found out 3 days ago.
Yeah, you sent that to me, and when I watched this film last night, so it's fresh in my head and it's currently playing in the background here.
It still is.
It still is, yeah.
Fuck her up!
And so in the end of this film, the end credit scene, which is basically just Colin Stetson on the track doing a remix of that kind of
yeah, we get that a couple of times throughout this, but you have to. It's the equivalent to the Halloween theme or something.
What's your take out of 5 per se?
I don't know. I find that a hard kind of rating basis.
Oh god, so difficult.
Not really, but I feel like it is kind of hard to be because it's how do you rate a shitty movie that I had fun watching? But do you know what I mean? How do you... No, ma'am. But you know what I mean? How do I give Leprechaun 4 a rating system? Because it's awful, but I love it. I had a good time. I was entertained.
Yeah, I think even you said it earlier. It was at no point were you bored of
and
the
that
film.
To me is the cardinal sin a movie can do is bore me.
Yeah.
I know a movie is bad when I how long is left in this? Or what time is it? And I actually didn't do that once throughout this movie.
And also to mention, this film clocks in at just
an hour and 20.
An hour and 20.
I think it's an hour and 23.
That is very rare. Very rare.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I was even saying earlier that there's a lot of these kind of character tidbits that, I mean, we'll get into it, but
Texas tidbits.
Texas tidbits. I don't think. But like this film could have very easily have been divided up into, like I said it earlier, like a 4-part episodic thing for Netflix, and they could have delved into these characters a lot better.
That's what I'm saying. It felt like the first episode of a series,
right,
or something.
I could have seen like bits like what the hell happened to Leatherface right up into this thing. I would have loved to have seen Sally Hardisty's story, like how did she deal with the trauma of this, because that's a theme in this film, is how you deal with trauma, and that's how Sally does die. Spoiler alert, she dies, but she goes like, don't run away from with fear because it will haunt you and blah blah blah, and that's a good theme, but it's just not explored as well as I would hoped, and especially with the character of Lila. Is it Layla or Lila?
The white one.
Yeah, she basically
the LGBT one.
She has suffered through basically a school shootout.
Very modern.
Very on topic, very on trend.
And bang on trend.
And the thing is, like, it just does the character such a disservice because it never delves into it, and it never kind of comes up except for maybe 1 or 2 moments that she suddenly feels weak or something. Like it's just
it's
not
PTSD. But like, no, I actually wouldn't have wanted
to explore it better.
I wouldn't have wanted like a 13 Reasons Why-ification of a Texas Chainsaw movie. Like, I think like they show enough where it's like, okay, school shooter survivor, and she has these kind of flashes, and like at the same time when Sally is like, don't run, like it'll eat you up forever, we get her sister being like, no, run, like get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm just going to do like a very, very quick kind of plot rundown. I wouldn't usually do this for a movie, but this is very simple. Just kind of simple
just
setup.
Like an initial reaction to this film, so it's not an in-depth review.
So basically, I know you kind of have problems with the influencer thing, but just because I think it is so modern, but also like it's
is there another old joke there?
No. No, but I think like that's a lot of people's reaction is like, oh,
I am deeply and utterly offended.
It's like a lot of people are kind of like, oh, influencers, blah, blah, blah. But like also, I think every Texas Chainsaw movie is a result of its time. I mean, like we have Sally and Franklin and all them. They're all hippies, you know, and of the time. And then we have Stretch in Texas Chainsaw 2, who's like a radio show host. Mm-hmm. You know, I think they're all kind of their time. So the kind of opening premise is like they've bought this town, Harlow, kind of out in the middle of Texas, and they're I don't know what would you kind of say? It's kind of setting it up as like a small town influencer studio set kind of thing.
My takeaway, at least from what I got, and this is also due to the second like viewing, is they are the two of them, Melody, and Dante, are social media influence.
They're chefs
things.
Yeah.
And basically what they're doing is, this is another version of basically gentrification.
Oh, they call them gentrifuckers or later in the movie.
And essentially what they're doing is they have bought this town, or at least they think they've bought most of this town from what we find out. Is that they basically have bought this town and they are gentrifying it in order to bring life back to the literal Deep South. As we find out from the flag.
Yeah, but also I think this movie was filmed in like Romania. Like
it was filmed
Texas.
In Europe. Yeah,
but also I will say
also
I will give this sign. I don't know. I will give it this, that like the movie is fucking stunning.
An onion and a horror movie.
There's like
Europe, so they're so bad, so don't watch them.
But like I think one thing that really stands out to me is all these like sunflower husks that are everywhere, but it's just fields and fields and fields of them. And it's really kind of haunting. Like, there's a scene later where Sally finds the mother. We're going to refer to her as the mother. She's not Leatherface's mother.
I called her Mama Bear.
She's the proprietor of this delicatessen that is an orphanage. And Leatherface has been staying there the whole time.
She's kind of his caregiver, basically.
Exactly. And like, it actually does make a lot of sense. I've seen some people be like, why the fuck would he be? And it's like, well, people forget that like Leatherface has like the emotional
trauma
growth of a child.
Yeah,
like Leatherface up until that point was taken care of by his family in up until 74, and then I'm just going to assume like those two are killed and Leatherface like gets away and gets to this town or whatever like that, so she kind of takes him in. And I know a lot of people kind of have this thing of like, you know, Leatherface just needs like a fucking hug. And people just need to stop breaking into his fucking house.
That's another thing with this fucking
another
movie,
home invasion
bro.
movie.
It's
These
another
people
home
just
invasion movie.
well, Dante at least deserves it because Dante is being an asshole.
Yeah.
Melody is kind of like, okay, look, like it needs to be like be this way. Like you can't be here. She's giving her like options as well. She's like, there are plenty of shelters, homes, and she stays and talks to her. She doesn't actually just run away like Dante does. But Dante kind of, on like the flip of a coin, is like, no, fuck you, fuck this.
Yeah,
because they see their kind of tip off. That there might be people living there, and also that it's the South, is they see a already kind of torn in half Confederate flag, and they
basically really old. It's weathered,
and they just walk into this house. Do you feel represented? But
you fucking cunt.
Old white representative white people, you know. But no, they kind of go into this house, and they got, and every window in this place is like barred up. At least in the orphanage, I noticed.
It's an orphanage, and like the windows have bars on them.
Yeah,
this must have been some kind of fucked up goddamn orphanage.
I will say the thing that added to the cheapness of this is the fact that this could not have felt like more of a set if they tried.
Yeah,
it felt like a walk on like the Universal Studio lot or something like that.
Absolutely.
You know,
Agreed.
I think they were like, okay, I feel like this set might have already been there. Or something. It gave me Hills of Eyes 03, like when they have that kind of the Nuketown kind of thing. But they go in and they meet her like kind of immediately, and she's like, she has a great line. She's like, "Oh, if I knew you were coming over, I would have put my face on." I'm like, "Ooh,
so on the nose."
I don't care. I fucking don't give a shit. I thought it was cool. Also, they set up that she like has like a big makeup setup and all that kind of stuff. They kind of meet her, and she's kind of haggard. She's
she suffers from
old.
Old.
She's on a breathing machine. She has an oxygen tank, very a la Violet Chachki, and she's kind of carrying it around. And we actually see Leatherface just sitting there at one point, and I was like, "Ooh!"
He shows up, and she's
shit.
like, "No, honey, it's okay. Go back to your room," and blah blah blah, and all that type of thing.
And I didn't know it was him. I was like, I thought they were tricking us out, because I was like, they're not just going to show us Leatherface unmasked straight away. And Leatherface doesn't have a fucked up face. He's just a guy.
Again, these are the things that I was just noticing is, like, upon second viewing, is when she actually, as the sheriff says, I think she croaks it. She says to
don't go in my room.
Don't go in my room.
But the door's just open.
And immediately I'm looking at that going like, wait, hold on. A, it's either because she just doesn't want him in his room or in her room or whatever. But B, it's the makeup thing.
Yeah.
I was looking at that going like, that's the reason why she said that.
Because he immediately goes in.
He immediately goes in, like, puts on, like, some powder blue lipstick.
He gets some blush and some shadow. I love it. A garage door. Like, it's just lit to brow blue.
And you know what I would say to the type of drag that he does?
Mama, this is garbage.
Garbage!
But, like, and then he pulls... There's a scene. It's just... I wanted this movie to just go ever so slightly further, because he pulls out a dress and smells it, and we end up feeling bad for him.
Yeah.
Because it's his mama or whatever.
Victim blaming.
Because kind of at this... Up until this point again, like, we don't know that Leatherface has killed anybody since that original movie.
He's been, like, dormant and blah, blah, yeah.
Exactly. And again, Leatherface only killed people in that movie who literally broke into his house. You know? I think, like, nothing really starts to... I think those kids could have survived just staying in that house, staying in their grandparents' house for the weekend.
Yeah.
Had they never gone over there. You know? But also kind of in that movie, people, like, we get the sense that the hitchhiker, he's fucked up from being in the war. He has PTSD, and that's why he's fucked up. We get the sense that Drayton, who people commonly refer to as the father, but he's actually just the older brother. He's the oldest brother.
Yeah.
He was the cook and worked in the slaughterhouses, and they all got shut down. So they're kind of all acting out of desperation in a way. So you can kind of give that, like, it's not like entirely their fault. Like, they're not all entirely like sound of mind. It's not like a let's go out and hunt people and fuck them up just to fuck them up kind of thing. Like, they're not a Michael Myers. They're people in a really shitty situation.
and that's the
who maybe
sort
go
of-
too far.
That's the theme that is running throughout this film. It's I was about to say East meets West, because like they're from like LA and New York and shit
It's
like
like
that.
North meets South.
It's North meets South, but like again, like I literally have it as a note here somewhere about
country
the
folk versus
fragility-
non-country folk.
Yeah, it's the fragility of the city folk being outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then it's the fear coming from the country folk that the city is creeping into their land.
You're taking over.
And you're taking over. And like I always reference what
Quite literally.
well, quite literally, yeah, because I always reference what J.R.R. Tolkien said about he had this recurring dream
nerd.
where I know he had this recurring dream where he said that he was sitting on these huge green fields, and he had this great wave that came in and engulfed the land beneath his feet.
Yeah.
And he basically used that as a metaphor for what he saw, because he was living in Yorkshire at the time, and he saw industry creeping up over the hill toward him.
Oh, J.R.R. Tolkien would have had one of those accents, yeah.
Yeah.
Gone down to pub. Aunt Rod.
So he
Lord Riggs, you know.
so basically this is what I always think is I think we even spoke about this, was in the themes. You remember we were talking about themes of horror and subliminal message and things like that, because that was one of the themes of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was these city folk coming back to see their,
Thinking
I
you
think it was
own
their
the shit.
grandparents' house, I think it was.
Also the same thing in this. The
Yeah.
girls actually mentioned there's actually, it's weird, they play with your expectations of knowing that you've seen Texas Chainsaw movies before, where we know not to kind of trust anybody along the way that we
Yeah.
meet, because they could potentially be part of the family no matter how handsome they are. Kind of a la Viggo Mortensen in Texas Chainsaw 3. He like plays out of character where he doesn't seem crazy and is handsome, but then also is just part of the family. But yeah, there's actually a little interaction between Melody and the sheriff that I like, where she's like, actually our grandmother's from around here. What does she say? It's like
Something
Harlow
about the
flower in the
sunflowers.
winter, or something like that, and they both finish each other's sentences off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, so maybe like she's doing this, but kind of, it's not like a let's take over this land and fuck these people over. It's like a, okay, maybe we could actually do something like good here and like kind of figure something out, you know, versus I feel like Dante gets the kind of, because I think Dante is actually the one that owns it. I think Dante is the one who actually like bought it.
Yeah.
And they're kind of just going in on it.
Because he
kind
has
of.
all of that box of all the deeds and things like that.
Except for the one important one that you need, the one that like saves your life, basically.
Yeah. So like basically I just want to like run down through like the main cast of characters and like get into a little bit of that, because like I feel like this was like the easiest way to kind of explain parts of the story that I liked and I didn't like, and
we only
blah,
get
blah.
names for maybe 5 of them.
Oh my god, it's really... So we have Lila, who voiced one of the kids in Despicable Me. That's kind of the only
Fabulous.
thing that I could find from her.
The
Her
they them
name-
looking one.
Yeah. Elsie Fisher is her name. So like basically the only thing that I wrote for her was like a very tacked on weak attempt at using trauma to humanize a character that you had little to no time to want to root for. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, because like throughout the whole thing, like there's these constant and I get it, like literally within the first like few seconds, I think I even messaged you when I said, I was like, literally like fucking kill me. It's already this kind of social justice angle that they're going for, and I'm happy to see that in it. I'm happy to see it in it, but it needs to be brought to the forefront, or don't bring it up at all. Because at the beginning, Lila is...
No, that's what nuance is. You don't always have to fucking write a book about every little plot you want to have in the movie.
No, they can be, but like the thing is, like, it's like a Chekhov's gun. Introduce it and use it.
And they do. They do.
Yeah, but I suppose okay.
It's like the resolution.
Looking at it, yeah, I would agree there. They introduce it and they use it, but they don't use it to the best of its ability.
I don't know. I don't think that's one of those things you can use kind of more than like once or twice in a movie without. Because I think if they had, I think you would be sitting here going, ugh. They were like really shoving it down our throats.
Yeah, because like basically, yeah, I would probably be like that. Basically, Layla is after suffering basically a Columbine. They only use 2 particular shots, which is one, and it's oddly reversed in the other shot.
I thought I was like, is she looking at a classmate or is she like looking in a mirror?
Right.
'Cause her vision is her looking to herself.
Yeah.
And then it's the same
And she says
shot.
her own name.
Yeah, and you can tell it's the same shot. They didn't film more than one of these things. She was on the floor for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they used it and flipped it. Or it was like, okay, we're going to get you on the floor, say a couple of things, and we might use them.
Yeah.
You know?
It just
B-roll
didn't.
Of like a
Yeah,
shooting.
it's just B-roll, and it's just the only thing they did was in the second shot they added blue and red flashing lights to it. It was the only thing they did to it, and it was just really aggravating because like I am a firm believer in like the use of Chekhov's gun and not using something like a MacGuffin, which is. A MacGuffin to me would be the Infinity Gauntlet. So like a Chekhov's gun is basically if you're on stage and there is a gun that's put on stage, at some point the tension rolls in so much that the gun has to go off. And if it doesn't go off, it should never have been introduced. So I'm a firm believer that if you bring something firmly into a plot, it has to develop, the tension has to build, and then it has to go off. So technically, I think we even said it before, it was like they're either very anti-gun, which is the message, or they're very pro-gun.
The message was mixed, but
it
also
was so
Chekhov's
mixed.
gun shit though, boring. I think like things are red herrings, you know? It's like sometimes
You get out of
you
here!
play with expectations and stuff, and guns are a huge part of this movie. Like, we
Yes.
get a lot of gun versus chainsaw kind of directly.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of points in this where I was like, there's no way he's gonna live at the end of this. Like, everybody's armed to, like, the hilt.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And we get, it kind of all starts off with the contractor who, oh my god, this man is so beautiful. This man is, like, it's, like, kind of ridiculously beautiful.
Is he?
Like, for a Texas Chainsaw. No, he isn't. I already told you who was.
Well, who is it?
It's Sally fucking Hardesty, bro.
You sure?
I'm sure.
You 100% sure?
Sally fucking Hardesty as Sarah Connor, as Mad Max, as Max Rokitansky from the third Mad Max movie, but also as Baba Yaga in Texas. Play the sound. Final girl who survives and then gets cut into. I don't know. I think this movie went where I'm kind of hoping more legacy movies will go now, where it's like, stop giving people plot armor. I think in Scream, if they had killed, well, I suppose they killed Dewey, which is like, again, why I respected that movie, because I was like, good, like, give us some stakes. Don't give anybody plot armor to the point where nothing can happen to them. You know, I wasn't sure that they weren't going to save Sydney. I wasn't sure if Sydney was going to die or not in the last Scream movie, you know, because they had killed Dewey, who I think people were like, oh no, you can't, like, at this point, because it's like original 3. But no, I think the introduction of Sally Hardesty, I was expecting it to be like, oh, they're just trying to play catch up with fucking Halloween, but also like Jamie Lee Curtis does not have a patent on long grey wigs. You know, I don't know. I liked it. And plus, I think people are, like, kind of immediately now go to Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween 2018 as a reference, but, like, Sarah Connor was there first, you know? Like, we
Okay,
had her
now,
as the returning
so this is...
badass bitch hero survivor from the first movie.
Okay, now you see, this is just where I completely disagree. So, this movie was shot in 2019.
Yeah.
Like
much of this year's cinema.
Much, yes. But what had happened was the fame of Halloween 2018 came out just before this. Sorry, I should say that. So it is blatantly obvious the type of, and it's very misleading in the trailer. Sally Hardesty is not in this movie as much as you would think she is in the trailer.
She gets one shot in the trailer.
No, she gets a few. She gets a good few. And I was very, very disappointed, because if you're going to go down the route of Michael Myers versus Laurie Strode, or Sally Hardesty returning, what was it, like 20, 30 years?
50 years later.
50 years later, which, by the way, makes Leatherface nearly 80, can I just say.
74 or something like that.
So mid-75. 75, we'll say.
Michael Myers is, like, in his late 60s.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're going to do this very much me versus you type deal, do it fucking well. Because my big issue is this was very much they're trying to cash cow off of the sort of reaction to Halloween Kills, which is very much like, not evil dies tonight.
I don't
but
know. 'Cause
you
they go a
versus me.
completely opposite way.
Yes, I know. They barely show her, and then she dies.
I know, but like again, that's playing with expectation. This is.
I know. There's playing with
artistry.
expectations, and then they're subverting the expectations. But they
I think you were
subvert
just
them in the
disappointed.
expectation. They just disappoint me.
But they don't. I think again, that's telling you like, okay, legacy characters aren't safe, and she's actually the only legacy character besides Leatherface that they.
Yeah,
could
but
have
it's a
brought
pathetic
back.
way to die.
I don't think
It was
so.
terrible.
No, it wasn't.
It was a
it's her going
stupid
out.
death.
Okay, shut up for a minute. It's her. It's her trying to kill him. It's her not like waiting. It's the complete opposite of Laurie Strode in the new movies, where she's been waiting the whole time for it to happen. And these 50 years, she's been actively hunting him. People know her as the survivor of that who's been hunting this guy. Leatherface is the Laurie Strode in this, where Leatherface is the one. But he is.
Leatherface is the Laurie Strode.
But he is. Leatherface is the one in hiding. This whole time. And also, again, it's not like if Leatherface was continuously doing like 1974 type actions where they're kind of sabotaging people or they're doing active hunting of people, I'd be like, okay, bullshit, dude is nearly in his 80s. But he's not. He's been held up this whole time. There hasn't been any killings between 74 and now. So he is like, in my mind, in his mind, he's like, oh, I'm never going to do it again.
Yeah, but also to
he's
me,
safe there.
Then
it's food there.
It's Sally Hardesty. The reaction, the Sarah Connor reaction of it all is turning into, I'm about to fucking Terminator this bitch. You know what I'm saying?
He
like
killed all of her friends and her brother.
Yeah, but like she has no reason to suspect that he's going to come after her.
No, but she doesn't. That's not the point. He is thinking she is coming after him because she is the one hunting him. It's a flip. You know what I mean? She's not a victim. Her whole thing is, don't run from it, because if you run from it, it's going to haunt you for the rest of your fucking life. Which in the original timeline is what happened. Is she loses her mind and never recovers from it at the end. So I wanted more of her in this though. Like, I think because they're actually giving her kind of the Dennis Hopper role from Texas Chainsaw 2, who was her uncle,
who actively
he had
sought
personal like gains in it, like he had a personal kind of plot in there. I think she should have been the main, or she should have been in the last third of the movie versus being in the last kind of 20 minutes. Because I really, really wanted more of her character.
Yeah, which is why I think
so badass in this.
Which is why I think her death is so undeserving. But we'll get to it. So the next character that I have
it's letting your
is
trauma fuck you up. That's the thing. It's like they're giving her both two options: run or fight. But it's like trauma is not about those two options. It's about finding the perfect middle ground of finding to like assess what happened to you, but also deal with it in a healthy way. Whereas Sally still let it take over her whole life.
Yeah,
she might as well have not survived because it's been her whole thing, and ultimately it's her end because she couldn't let it go. Like he let her go, kind of twice, I guess. Well, I suppose she escaped in the first movie, but in this, she has the chance to get away. And there's a moment, I thought it was so fucking cool, I thought it was so cunt, where she's like, get the fuck out of here. She throws him the keys. At that moment, she's not planning on leaving there. But she's thinking she's going to end him and her at the same time. I thought it was badass. They just should have given her, like, even, like, 2 or 3 extra scenes of her on the road, of her, like, communicating with people or something. I thought it would have been cooler.
Yeah, you see, this is...
Cool. Speared and skewered.
Yeah, speared and skewered, but like
thrown across the street into literal garbage.
Garbage.
Like, it's a little insulting to Marilyn Burns, who actually did die.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Mama.
She died, I think, in like 2015, because she was in the last Texas Chainsaw reboot attempt as the grandmother. Yeah. As just kind of the body, Wow.
Do I look upset to you?
Yeah,
it's not.
You do. You have your arms literally folded. We happened yesterday. You were prepped.
So the next one is Melody, played by Sarah Yarkin, who is Lila's older sister
/ ethnically different cousin.
Yeah,
they didn't need to be sisters in this.
No, they didn't, because it's only mentioned, I think, once at the beginning, and then it's never brought up again.
Yeah.
So like, it's sort of, and then that really cunty thing she said to her is like, you can't rely on yourself or live on your own or something like blah without me. And I was like,
which is apparently true.
That's such a cuntish thing to say.
It's cuntish to say, but also it's literally true.
Yeah, so like basically, Sarah Yarkin, the only thing I've ever done, and I didn't realize who she was, is she played one of the girlfriends in Happy Death Day. She's one of her friends, and I was like, oh, that's, now I remember, you know. But like, she's just genuinely an unlikable character. Like, she's genuinely when that point where Leatherface was like driving the chainsaw through the floor and he cuts the pipe with all the shit.
Oh, I was like,
oh, I love it.
And she pissed off on set. You know what I mean? Because I was like, literally, this movie just literally shits on this girl.
It was George W. Bush.
I also thought she was going to get it there.
So did I.
I thought she was going to die there and then. Because she kind of does the thing where she turns around and is screaming and then slows down. And then like can't get the thing open. But I thought she was going to get her there. And they do something in this movie where I'm like, give him the fucking chainsaw. It's literally in the title. And they actually do. Yeah. Like in this movie, for 80% of the time he's on screen, he has a chainsaw. Yeah. You know? But also, there's no way that still works. After being in the wall for 50 years. Yeah,
that was one thing I was looking at going like, oh.
You could have just filled it up and I wouldn't have been like, you know, like it hasn't deteriorated, it hasn't rusted or anything, and it is still the chainsaw, like yellow body, like the box of it is yellow and everything. It's like the same one, but I don't know. This Leatherface just seems a little...
hokey pokey, honky tonk, wishy washy nonsense.
A little hodgepodge. My main issue.
Where's Sabrina? I will sue the bitch.
I will sue the bitch that came up with his face design.
Oh, it pisses me off.
Get into it.
I love the fact that it's actually his mother's face. They're leaning into the kind of Ed Gein of it.
Well, it's Mama Bear's face.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's his mother figure. Who's the first one we're getting in this timeline? Because there was no mother figure then. Like, he was the mother in that.
Oh yeah, in the original. Sorry, I was thinking about that other one.
Luda May, the mom.
Leatherface. No, Leatherface. You know your one with the she has the voice box. Yeah. Where she sings like because she's the mother.
Leatherface? Which one?
The one with Viggo Mortensen.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That always made me confused because I was like,
who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, and also I on one hand, I kind of like it because it gives kind of Manson family vibes, where it's kind of, or like the Firefly family from House of a Thousand Corpses. Yes. You're not quite sure who is and isn't related, or like who is and isn't a Firefly or whatever it is. But like, I don't know. We don't really talk about those ones. We don't really talk about the in betweens. It goes 1, 2, remake, and everything else is kind of expendable. Yeah. You know?
So this face, you even said it earlier before we started recording, is it's too big. There's some sort of weird contusion up here that kind of juts out over his forehead. Yeah. And then his jaw slacks over to one side, which in one of the scenes does look good. It's where he comes up out of the water and all the blood is running down his face and all of his hairs are coming. That looks good. Oh, with the long
grey hair. Yeah. I thought that was actually really
beautiful. Looks good. Yeah. But unfortunately in the bus scene,
it's too big.
It just looks fake.
It's like a helmet.
It
looks like a Halloween mask.
Looks like a plastic, one of those like fake half plastic, half urethane masks.
Like it doesn't look like skin. Yeah, I think I would have looked so much more if he had like just cut the face off Mama Bear and kind of like stapled it to his own face, kind of a la the Joker. Yes, or something like that. Where I like Leatherface. I still want to see some of Leatherface behind the leather. Yeah. Like, but this is like it's like a cowl. It's like a whole mask. It like takes over the whole face. I'm like, that woman's head was not that fucking big.
Absolutely not.
It did not fit.
Absolutely not. And from what we saw, because this Leatherface likes to set dress too, we love a girl that likes to set dress.
Leatherface is LGBTQ, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Girl, please. No. Sorry.
That was Leatherface to her, like getting up on the hook or whatever.
Yeah, there's this scene where like Leatherface has his mother propped up on a thing, and all the sunflowers like beautifully kind of like put around her and stuff.
Love just that little 2-minute scene of Sally doing a little investigation. But
she says something about like I shall fear no evil or something.
Fear no evil. Yeah, she says it like kind of over and over to herself. And again, that's why I wanted more of her.
And she was shaking in the car when she sat down.
Yeah,
like
and
she
the scene is actually quite gruesome.
Yeah, it's intense.
Like the eyes are still in there. I feel like usually when we get
the teeth are like
skinning, it's kind of just a skeleton with some flesh on it. But this was like what I imagine it would look like if you like this Leatherface mask like includes eyelids and lips.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't cut around. It's not like a leather balaclava.
We gotta give it to it. Like, the props department did well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Colin Stetson, like, really added to a lot of these kind of like the stings and stuff. In
Yeah, can I just say,
like, yes.
I really like, and this is one of those reasons as to why I gave it a 2, because one was for the gore, the second is purely for Colin Stetson's soundtrack, is because he manipulates the original.
It's the camera shutter
in a very like fucked up way, and like, and you can hear, like, in a very strange way, you can hear, because Colin Stetson did Hereditary. He that was when we first discovered him. Was in somewhere. It's like stabbed here somewhere. There it is. So Colin was originally obviously from Hereditary. That was the first time he used it, and he famously uses rusty brass instruments to create those sort of haunting sounds and things like that.
Like twisted metal.
Yeah, and like he uses them very well here, because I even said it, I said this to you I think before, that I listened to the end credits theme like a good few times, because it was sort of like, it was punk as fuck.
Yeah,
it was rock in the background.
There's like
it was
pig noises and stuff. We get I think when Leatherface shows up a couple of times on the score, we get like pigs squealing.
It was just punk as fuck. Like, I love it.
Associated with Leatherface now at this point, like, when I think Leatherface, I think that first, like, when I think the words Leatherface, the thing that pops into my mind is like first coming out of the door, like when the screen door opens, and then we hear kind of it sounds like a person making pig noises. Yeah, you know, so that's like kind of always what I associate with Leatherface, and they kept that going in this movie. And he's imposing. Don't get me wrong. My actual only issue is the mask. Like, I think like he's bulky. He moves kind of slow. Like, he moves kind of how you'd expect an older man to move. Yes, but he's like intimidating as fuck.
Oh, he towers over everyone. He's so big.
Like, you get the sense that he could just like pull your arms off.
Yes, you know? Absolutely. Like, he could just grab you and rip your neck straight out. Like,
and we get that kind of in the bus scene. I think I'm kind of.
Oh, you want to get to it?
Yeah,
you want to get to it.
This is the scene that I think people were like. People were rolling their eyes the most, because there's that line.
Sweet it's Jesus!
New, from the last movie, there was "Do it, cuz." Do you think, cuz? I think that was the thing that pissed people off the most. But I think
I would prefer that than to this.
I was gonna say, I think this wins. It's the like, do anything and you're cancelled, bro.
Oh my god!
Look, also, it's cringy.
Who reacts like that?
So many people nowadays. Oh. It is realistic. And that's the thing. It's only one line. They don't keep being like, "Ooh, you're gonna get like roasted on my blog. You're over," or whatever. And like, once Leatherface actually starts to attack, I think it's once he actually revs up the chainsaw. Yeah. They're like, "Oh shit," and actually start panicking. Because at this point, nobody in this town, I don't think we said it at the start, but they are arriving on the same day that they're expecting a busload of other kind of influencers and young people to arrive.
Yeah, because they're doing this auction of like, you know, buying this restaurant. Your one even pathetically says at the beginning, "Oh, this would be great for my art gallery." I'm like, oh, shut up.
Lady, you are a weird creature. You know damn well if you bought a town, you would pick out a fucking spot for your work.
Yes, I would. But...
So don't talk shit! So stop talking shit! Why are you talking shit?
I won't be investing. I'm out.
I'm not investing in this town, and I'm not investing in this film.
Would. People have died everywhere. Give me the property for like $4,000 less, and it's fine. People die all the time.
Okay, right. So let's talk about this bus scene, because this is one of the scenes
Slaughterhouse on wheels.
It saves the film for me. It does.
It's so metal. It's so bloody.
And it's blue lighting. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous blue lighting in it.
There's a scene in particular.
There's what, like 20 people in that bus?
Yeah, I would say for like 15, 20 people, and everybody dies. But there's one or two shots. It was actually what was playing as I came in today, where Leatherface is like going ham with the chainsaw, but then there's like one or two shots of him just picking up a leg and like throwing it to the back of the bus, or like pulling an arm off. And I'm like, this is what I want. Yeah. Like, I think like Texas Chainsaw casts are always too small, because we only ever get like 3 kills. because somebody always survives, you know.
To tell the tale.
To tell the tale, which is weird, because I feel like whatever, I suppose it's a different timeline, whatever.
Because it's like when you... Sorry, we should actually explain that real quick.
Direct sequel to the first.
It is a direct sequel
Again.
to the very first film, 1975. 1974.
Also the population of this town when they were...
Yeah, did you notice? Love all these little Texas tidbits that they put in there.
Not a lot of fan service in this, which I like.
But yeah, it is a direct sequel to the original 1974 film.
Nearly
Forget
50 years.
all of the in between movies, the spin-offs, this, that, and the other, everything. Forget all of it. The remakes, the reboots, all of that. Forget them. It's just the first movie and this movie. Just for context.
Which I feel like is weird because, like, I don't know if many people nowadays, just if this is their first Texas Chainsaw, even knew there was any of those in between. You know, I feel like this almost could have just been another remake. You know, had Sally not been in this. You know, but like, I don't know, the Texas Chainsaw in particular, I just feel like you had a couple of great movies and like just leave it at that. Yeah, because Texas Chainsaw ultimately it's never been profitable.
Never.
The remake is only profitable because I think it was kind of
it was a one-hit wonder.
It was,
really,
which sucks because like the first Texas Chainsaw, I love it. Like it's it's almost.
But also, like Tobe Hooper was around for this for the 2003 remake.
Oh yeah,
and I
for
think
sure.
to be fair,
like,
if you want to see a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, go watch the original or watch the 2003 reboot.
Watch
like,
the
I'm
first
sorry,
two and watch the reboot. You know, if you like those, if you really, really are into those, you may like the rest of the series.
Yeah, because you said earlier that like even if. I mean, they're shit, but they're still good to watch.
Them. That's what I was saying. I find these movies, like this series, particularly hard to rate kind of out of 5. Because I'm like, they're not good, but they don't bore me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a good time. You know what I think? If you like the second one, you'll probably like more of the series than if you only really like the first or the remake.
Yeah.
Because the second, I think, really sets the tone for the rest of the series.
And I'm against a lot of sequel stuff, but I will still watch these because they're a good time.
They're dumb.
They're a good time.
Kind of
they're
nostalgic.
Stupid. You know, they're
definitely
of their era as well. Like, you can tell.
Which is what I'm
like,
saying.
what's
is
the
why
80s
I don't have
one
such
and what's
a
this
problem
one.
with the influences. Because it's very modern. Like, that's been set up and started to be a thing
I don't know,
since
man.
Scream
If
4.
someone like came up into the bus, and this is real world, if someone came up onto a bus and you were drunk as a skunk, and someone comes up with a literal someone else's face, they're covered in blood, and they're revving a chainsaw at you, and you go, make a move and you're cancelled, bro. You whip out your phone. Are you fucking serious? You're telling me you would react that way?
Nathan, people of my generation, we do that kind of thing. You get video evidence, you live stream it. You know, they set this up. Well, it's
cue audible eye roll.
Because your eyes are so dry because you're so old. But but I'm saying, I think you are kind of missing something key in this, that this movie is very of its time.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't think it's unusual to like. That's the thing. We see every shooting that happens nowadays. We see every police brutality example, because if it's on film, you can't refute it. You can't deny it.
Yeah.
You know, they also don't know. They are completely unaware of anything that's happened at all, including Dante's murder, up until that point. They just think that it's raining and they have to get in the bus. Because everybody else is still partying. They have no idea that Melody is stuck in the house, or that... I just scratched myself with that. That Melody is still in the house, that Dante is dead, that any attacks or anything have even happened, because they cover it all up. Even the old lady's death.
I just think...
But the people are retarded.
So, like, this scene is beautifully lit, by the way. I love how the blue, it's just so beautiful. And it contrasts so dark. And it's that beautiful, dark, sticky red blood.
It's internal blood. It's the colour of when somebody actually gets cut open.
Yeah.
It's not orange. It's not bright red.
It's not water.
It's not clear. You know what I mean? Like, it's dark.
It's not spurting out. It is splashing you.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous. And there's that one... Yeah, sorry.
Oh, my God, no. I'm so glad you agree.
Hit them.
which I almost feel like should have been like on one of the posters or something.
Yeah.
It's all of these people's hands just like slamming up against this, like
It's like
60s
one of the
style
emergency
kind of bullet
backdoor
bus.
things. Yeah.
It's like one of those really old stuff. Yeah.
But it's a party bus, like.
It's so beautiful, this whole scene, because I think this was the scene people were kind of like rolling their eyes at in the trailer.
Yeah.
But it ends up being, I think, one of the better moments of the series.
Yes.
Where we just get splatter. It's all I said to you was, this is my only thing that I want from this movie. I don't give a shit about plot, I don't give a shit about story. I just want guts.
Yeah.
And I want buckets of
But
blood.
that's exactly what Texas Chainsaw Massacre is. Like, if it's not blood and guts, it's not a Texas movie.
Which is
you know?
weird, because
everything's
is
harder
so
in
not
Texas.
bloody at all.
That's true, yeah.
But it's all implied.
Yeah.
Like, it's all there, you know. But obviously, it's the 70s, like, values are different. It's like you couldn't have a bloodless Texas Chainsaw movie now. It's what people expect. Because again, I also think people forget that like Texas Chainsaw is kind of a proto slasher because it's not quite. I think it's kind of a bridging the gap between Psycho and Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
You know, it's somewhere in between where it's not quite bloody yet, but like we don't like when Pam in that original movie when she gets thrown up on the hook. We don't see it go in. We don't see it come out the front. We don't see any blood. But it's just knowing that she's in that situation. You're like, oh my God, it's so much worse. You know? Or knowing that, like, she's in the freezer at the end of that. She doesn't necessarily die, but we never see her again. So when Sally escapes, she's still there. But we don't see that. It's all about what's in your mind. And it's so much worse. But fucking hell. It's just that one scene of all these hands slamming up, all these bloody hands slamming up against this thing with just this, like, this Hulk in the background.
It's like people are like literally like like slipping on the amount of blood that's on the floor. Like there are people crawling away with no legs. There are people. There's one guy
just
who
like a nub of bone.
Yeah.
Oh, my voice broke there.
Like there's one guy who gets like chainsawed through the back, but like he forces forces the guy into another girl, and he's like fully like chopping the two of them up at the same time, and
that's very frightening.
Like, and then there's that. I think she's some sort of bank lady or something. She tries to like crawl out one of the windows, and he gets her right on the spine as she's hopping out, and she just flops over the side of the bus. I love it. I think, and like even you said, like the way her intestines are like just flesh. Kind of like flopping out, it like just flesh. Following her thing. I could just imagine her like still having a little bit of life in her and just like slightly crawling away. Oh my God,
it was so good.
It was so good. The only other death that I equate to being really good was Richter's death.
Oh my God,
he's the mechanic.
I don't think we actually haven't spoken
conservative
about this even between the two of us yet. I actually did predict that he was going to be a hero, because I was like, there's no way they're going to have another hitchhiker or another secret member of the family show up. But like,
I did think he was like one of the family.
I thought it was too obvious.
Because like, there's three people in that entire town. Like, what's he doing as a mechanic in an empty town?
He's not a mechanic. He's their contractor.
Yeah, but he is also a mechanic. He's clearly he's a mechanic in that store.
Okay.
Like, meaning that he I call her Luda May, because like Mama Bear or whatever, and then like Leatherface. Like, so he must know that the two of them are there.
But I don't think he lives there though. Like, I don't think that's like his like shop or whatever like that, you know?
Yeah.
But also, again, we do get the sense that this town, up until recently, probably within the last couple of months, was populated. It just got sold off, you know, which again kind of makes you feel bad for the people that live there. Like, even the chief of police and everything is like, look, like, just have fucking respect. Like, just come in and don't be an asshole. Like, I'm just going to stay here to make sure you stay out of trouble or whatever. But, so one scene involving the police that I really want to get to, directly involving kind of Mama Bear's death. And I actually feel really bad for her, because she's like, no, like, I can't leave this house. You don't understand what's going to happen. Like, I can't move him. You know, like, she's staying there to protect him. But once she croaks, the fucking massacre. It was so, and it was actually completely out of nowhere, where I was like, oh shit, like, I literally exclaimed out loud. He just grabs his cop's hand but snaps it, like,
it's bone, either upwards or downwards.
It's upwards, and the bone just snaps and comes like compound fracture straight out of the wrist, and stabs this guy with his own bone. just completely like decimates this guy's throat with his own exposed bone. I was like, that is fucking metal as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. And I will give this movie, it has some genuine moments of tension.
Yeah, there's this little scene, actually, just before we move on, is like Alice Krieg, who plays, I call her Mama Bear, that dies, loses her face, and then likes to sit in sunflower seeds.
She's the witch in Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, she plays
the mom in the little vampire.
Yeah, I literally had that, and she also plays the matriarch in the Silent Hill films.
She's
yeah,
not Alessa. She's the one from the first movie. She's the one that gets picked up and raped by barbed wire.
Raped by barbed wire. Yeah,
that's a great movie.
She's such a fantastic actress. She was in, as well as, oh my god, I can't remember it. It's the Virginia Woolf story.
Alice Krieg.
Orlando. She plays the trans woman in Orlando. I love that film. That's a great film. If you're ever looking for a cool kind of Victorian drama, Orlando is a fantastic one. It's written by Virginia Woolf. But
you always have to wonder, did they share wigs? Did her and Sally Hardesty share a wig on this set?
Yeah,
because it's just it's. I don't know, but then when he goes on to wear her face with the hair, I was like, I want that. I want like an oldification of Leatherface, like long, stringy grey hair.
But again, there's another thing again, which you said about how old Leatherface is. He was he's in his mid-70s at this point, and then he just fully fucks up everyone in that car. In that police truck or whatever, and like he fucking breaks your man's compound fracture, rips the skin, stabs him in the neck with his own bones, and then proceeds to beat the shit out of the other cop, and then murders.
He was shot by the other cop. That was happened.
Yeah.
So I was kind of lucky on his
no, but he survives though, because he ends up beating him.
Yeah,
at the end of it. And then your one, the like literal forgettable name of your one.
She's literally in this for like 2 minutes, but I will give her. Yeah. I think she did well in this scene. I feel like I should give her more credit by actually looking up to see what her character name or actress is.
I know it's Nell Hudson is her name, but I've forgotten about like who the fuck she is. She has an intense death, bro.
It's so drawn out. It's the most drawn out of the movie. But I was like, oh,
I love her watching it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's happening like, so she's watching everything from like the rearview mirror, where it's happening just right there. And I almost have to wonder, does he know straight away that she's there the whole time? Or like, does he know that she ran or not? But it did give me I was kind of like biting my lip and kind of being like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, how is this going to fizzle out? What is he going to do to her? And then just like seeing him just kind of slowly, we get to see him take off the face, which is like this size. And then he puts it on, and he looks like an alien. He looks like a grey alien. It looks ridiculous. Can
I just say, it's that one shot that I really like. It's in the trailer, and I'll stick it up on the story or something. But like, it's the one shot that I look at, and like, all I can imagine it if there was no soundtrack or nothing, and like, it reminds me of Zoe the fucking cat, and he just just pops up and he goes, "Hello."
Yeah, that shot it's really beautiful.
It is really, beautiful, really and I love that poster for it as well.
And it's actually the poster I have saved for our.
For the post, yeah. I love it. I love that kind of drawn out sun, the dead sunflowers, and like he just like a zombie. He just pops up, like an alien, like a zombie. He just pops up out of the sunflowers, but all I can hear is hello.
I know, it gives me. You ever see that video of those two dogs? One dog is like sitting up by the window of a car, and it's like this, and then the other dog pops up, and it's like, yeah. But I thought this whole scene was actually kind of brilliant. I was like, oh, like this is what I want. Just like, because I think that, like, more so than gore, the original movie, completely more so, is about tension and about kind of like, where's the next attack going to come from? Who do you trust? Who do you not trust? Because we only find out that kind of the family, like Drayton and the hitchhiker and all, are all in on it together, kind of at the very end for the dinner scene, which I watched again this morning. Fucking
very drawn out.
I love it so much. PTSD, but the S stands for Sally. And the T stands for Texas. But
post Sally Texas disorder.
Post traumatized Sally disorder. But no, I thought it was really, really good. And then like the actual kill itself, it's kind of meh. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah. She does have a gnarly like lump welt on the top of her head though, which I loved.
She's just gonna get battered.
Yeah, he like holds her down via asphyxiation, and then
She's like
I
that
think it's
one
a shard of glass or something.
Yeah.
He just like I always love those deaths because I always like feel myself gritting my teeth when I see it. Is that kind of like slow, drawn out
just
cut,
shredding of her stomach.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a slice.
and she immediately dies. And that one tear, she immediately like croaks right then and there as it happens.
died of fright.
Oh, I love
You
it.
know, I actually did feel bad, and like every once in a while, I'll get into.
She was in Outlander, and she plays one of the handmaidens in Victoria.
Gorgeous.
That's as much as I know. There's like, to be fair, I do appreciate the fact that they used unknowns. I mean, apart from Alice Krieg,
Who is almost unrecognizable though.
yeah,
She's covered in
absolutely.
warts and she throws up and everything.
Yeah.
She throws up what looks like a condom, or like remember when Ash gets
It looks
his
like a
head
bit of
bashed
like
off?
veg. Like that's
it's
all I
it's
can
a bit
think.
odd.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, when Ash gets his head ripped off in Alien,
yeah,
whatever kind of little like
light bulb
plasticky
shit
bubble-
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
some kind of organic matter is on the
Yeah.
floor. I love that when they walk back into the gaff to get the deed. I think we'll get to that in a sec. When they walk back in, you can tell that they both are kind of like, there's throw up on the floor.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole kind of thing about the plot is basically that they go into the town and they're buying it up, but your man has not revealed that he doesn't fucking have the deed to this one gaff yet. But like Mama Bear, Alice Krieg reveals that she does have the deed,
Alice
and it's
Krieg?
revealed there and then. Like that she does have it, but she doesn't have to show it to them, which is true because she does own the fucking house, and she's looking at it going like, "What the fuck are you doing in my house?"
But also, they had just bought this town. It's kind of weird because they kind of set it up as they own this little plot of land, so anything on this land
Is theirs.
now.
Yeah.
Because she's the only other person there.
Yeah.
You know, and we get from the police that it was like, look, we kicked you out here weeks ago, and like you can tell Melody when they find that she finds the deed and she's like,
"You son of a
my
bitch!"
fucking
Yeah.
God, like this is completely your fault.
Yeah.
Because they find it. That's kind of the kickoff
Because
to
then
Leatherface
it
going
technically
crazy.
is, in the eyes of the law, that is murder.
Not really.
It kind of is because
They
they
evicted
broke
her out
into
of the
her
house.
house.
Yeah, but they didn't touch her.
No, but they caused her to convulse and die.
Well, actually, the
What
police
is it?
did.
No, is it manslaughter?
The police did.
Yeah, whatever
Police
it
were the
is.
ones that manhandled her. And to Melody's kind of thing, she's like, get off her. Like, you don't need to do all that. Like, you don't need to, like, hurt her and stuff. Because they kind of drag her out of the house.
They do, yeah.
she,
And then
like,
your
starts
man
kind of
takes her.
collapsing and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Leatherface just runs down the stairs and gets in the
Oh,
ambulance.
yeah,
and I was like,
love that.
I was like,
all
what
you
the
can
fuck?
see is like I think it's like his shoulder and his back. You never see his face. You never see his head. And he's just like this hulking figure that is just like,
so bad
and
for
they
him,
just
though.
back away immediately.
they know. They're like,
they
it's her
know.
boy. He's the last boy in the orphanage. And I see that's why I feel like there's no way he's like in his 80s, because like we never get a confirmation of how old he is. Just kind of going by like Gunnar Hansen. I think Gunnar Hansen was like 20. Well,
24
maybe.
in 1974
Yeah, so
plus 50 years, 74.
yeah, so that's but Michael Myers is only like a couple of years younger than that. Michael Myers.
I
was,
don't know.
like,
I still think like some of the stuff that he did, I don't see a 74-year-old doing. I really don't.
you can ask some of your friends.
Bitch.
You set that up yourself, which I'm very impressed for. You're
Please
cognitively.
stop immediately.
But no, I don't know. I think where's his leg injury? Like he got his leg
Oh, of
sawn
course.
into
Yeah.
at the end of that. But
yeah.
it,
Oh no! To be fair, when he is running, although that just could have been like during the process of the night when he's running after Lila's character towards the bus or whatever, he's like fully behind her, but he is limping though.
okay. But then what happened with the other? It's just I'm actually only thinking of this now again because like it's been less than 24 hours since we've watched this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, well, what happened to all of the rest of the people? Where's Drayton and where's the hitchhiker?
Yeah.
Why is Leatherface the only one that escaped? because we've seen this before. We've seen this situation in Texas Chainsaw 3D, where we see, which also picks up immediately after, but also is somehow in the future. It's weird because Heather, the main character from that, is a baby that was rescued from the site of the original Texas Chainsaw, but she's like 20 in 2011. But they also don't use cell phones, so I think it could be like a period piece in the 90s, whatever. They go and show that like immediately after this, because Sally escapes, she brings a fucking like posse with her. Yeah. And they like blow up the fucking the Sawyer house, because we see the Sawyer house in this movie. It's also
we get an end credit scene.
Yeah.
To Leatherface like limping his way towards the house, the OG house, because I love, as soon as I seen that picket fence, I was like, I know exactly where you are. I know where you're going.
Shot where it's like, you know, the original shot of Pam, where she's got it's like the short shorts and the top that's like just like a knit bandana tied around. When it follows her like underneath the swing, they should have done one of those for like it's sexy, whatever. He's actually wearing nothing under the apron or whatever.
He is wearing full thong and garter and everything.
For real. It's half Texas Chainsaw, half Rocky Horror. The Rocky Horror Massacre.
You see Riff Raff in like one of the windows.
Yeah, for real.
There's a light over at the
Texas Chainsaw place. I don't know. That's my plan for Halloween this year. Actually, that was sexy Leatherface.
Sexy Leatherface.
Like Leatherface, but like if there was like a queer bar in town. You know what I mean?
So the
leather and lace face.
Oh my god! No! Oh my god!
I actually love that. It's
leather lace face.
What it is just the cover for Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation, where it's like Leatherface, but with like a Betty Page wig and like a nightie on. I love that.
The garter and a simple kitten heel.
Yeah, a little
a sensible kitten heel.
Yeah, some cute.
So like you did obviously mention there that Dante's character was the one who like obviously didn't get the deed yet, and this was something that the asshole. He's played by Jacob Lattimore, who was in the Maze Runner. I looked this up. He was in the Maze Runner and he was in Black Nativity. I love Black Nativity. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen the Maze Runner, though.
Go see it. Watch it. It's great. It's a good movie. It's fucking hilarious. Like, and it's real wholesome.
Do I know him from?
But basically, my note for him is lied and is a dick.
Lied and is a dick. That's the thing. If you had that deed, I would have been like, yeah, I'm 100% on your side. Yeah. Like, this lady should have been out of here fucking weeks ago. Yeah. But then it was just it was so cringy where he's like going through the thing and it's like,
we know.
Why would you like, I suppose they don't know that it's going to spark off, but it does spark off. Yeah. And the lady should have been there. And I didn't get the sense that, like, they didn't have the deed. I just get the sense that they left it at home. Yeah. But like, regardless.
I have a problem with his death. It was done off screen. Well, in a way, it was done off screen, and it was just sort of like, I don't know, because like we got everyone else's death was like in your face. It was bloody. It was gory. It was great. But with this, for whatever fucking reason, I don't know, maybe they cut it in a weird way, maybe they did something with it and they were like, oh, maybe this is too much or blah, blah, blah. I
just thought the shot was ugly.
Yeah, it just didn't do it well. And like, all we get is him...
fully open or have the door be fully closed and let us hear what's going on. Yeah. But it was I said to you, it looked like they had footage and they were like, oh, we don't like how this looks. Let's put like a CG fake wall and door over the shot. Yes. It looked weird. Yes. It looked really strange. But then, like, the gore that we see from him, we got, like, a couple of good kind of looks at it where I'm like...
And we thought he was dead.
His jaw is, like, split. Like, kind of Guillermo del Toro vampire... Like, it's like his jaw is broken and split in the middle, and then it's kind of partially hanging off. Yeah. It looked so good. It looked so good.
But, like, the thing was, I didn't even notice that straight away until he came, like, wobbling out of the outside into the... All of a sudden, it's nighttime.
The initial slash is, like, across his, like,
I thought it was into his shoulder. Like, I thought he dug it in there, and I was like, oh, well, this guy is dead. But, like, and he also lies there for what seems like several hours, because it's nighttime by the time he gets up and walks, like, hobbles outside and then finally dies. But, like, it's, like, I looked at him and, like, oh, like, I mean, it looks great, don't get me wrong, but I was just like, that was so, like...
Kind of contrived.
It's a bit odd, and it was a bit kind of stupid, and, you know. But Richter's death...
the worst death, because he's responsible.
He was the
for
dickhead.
It all. Yeah, like, he's the one you were rooting for.
We're just victim blaming here.
No, seriously, it's okay. If anybody is kind of at fault, it's Dante in this movie. You know, I think, like, had they gone in and she had been like, oh, I actually do have the deed, and he was like, you know what, you're right, we'll come back again in a week or so. Leatherface might never have... Because he walks straight past Leatherface, and Leatherface doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know? Like in the first shot when he's getting the Confederate flag, Leatherface is just in that room.
Yeah, that's his bedroom.
He's just sitting there.
Yeah, he's just sitting there.
Like, you can be a murderer, but you don't dare be racist.
Can I just say that Mo Dunford, who plays Richter, he's the only character that I actually kind of did root for in a weird way, and like he does get one of the best kills. He really does.
Oh, it goes so much further than I thought it was going
to.
I
thought it was like it's one blow and you could see like this kind of crater in his head, and then it just keeps going.
Smushed. That is just, and we see every swing of it. But it was the... Oh, wait, what the fuck else happens to him, actually?
He gets... So, basically, him and Leatherface scuffle. They break a window, and then Leatherface gets his neck and pushes it into the glass.
I thought it was the side of his head.
Yeah, I thought it was, like, there, and I was like, he's backing away slowly or something.
I was like, shit. But, I don't know. I'm glad that this... And I'm glad I was right as well, that this guy turned out to be kind of a hero.
Yeah.
Because he also kind of has, like, a speech with the they them person, the they their sister.
Yeah,
they them.
He literally just says to her, like, because he basically like shows her the gun. He's like, "Have you ever shot one?" She goes to pick it up, and then she suffers that regression. But then he basically just goes, "Wow, dude, that sucks." I know. That's literally all he says.
I was like just drunk enough that this movie was like had me in stitches. Yeah. That I was screaming. But this man is like unusually handsome
for a redneck.
Like, holy shit! Do you know who? Actually, wait. Just while we're talking about this, I wanted to look this up last night. I think I may be like wrong, but I think he's played by a guy who played the gay in the remake of 90210, Teddy. I may be wrong.
Well, I just want to say very quick, actually, just give you the time to look that up, is Mo Dunford has played in a film that I didn't know it was him until like a little later on, and then I looked him up and I was like, oh, he was in the 2018 film The Dig, which is basically, it's a psychological thriller where basically he is a prison inmate and he gets freed, and basically
he's in Black 47 as well.
He has never like he's never, or no, sorry, he has never, he doesn't remember why he's in prison basically, and then the father of the boy he has apparently murdered kidnaps him and takes him to his son's gravesite and gets him to dig up the grave. And that's all I'll say. I'm not spoiling that film, but it is a good movie and it's well acted. But definitely watch it.
He's Irish, yeah.
Oh, Dunford, yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of sense.
But yeah, that's a good movie. So like, if you guys are interested in a good like psychological thriller, that's a good movie to go watch.
Or a famine movie. He's in Black 47.
What the fuck is Black 47?
It's like that movie about the famine. It only came out like 2 years ago or something like that. It's actually supposed to be very, very good. What do you mean, whatever? Jesus Christ.
Jiminy Christmas.
You give a fuck about a Confederate flag, but not the famine. Mass genocide of our people.
I didn't go through any of it.
Oh, you were on holiday at the time?
Yeah.
Over in England for the weekend, was it?
The other one...
Going to England for another holiday.
Getting a tattoo. Olwen Foray, who obviously plays current iteration of Sally Hardesty.
I actually do like her.
She does. I went to look her up. She was in Mandy. And she also is currently playing one of the main actresses in Salome. In theater, in the what you call it, whatever the fucking, the Royal Albert Theatre.
That's what I know her from.
She's playing
It's Mandy.
Salome, who is basically, I don't know if you've ever seen the painting, the execution of, or the murder of Holofernes.
I don't give a flying fuck, Nathan. Let's talk about the famine.
Okay.
If we were talking about some fucking Spanish colonization shit, you would be all over this with tears and shit. You would be writing it in your own blood.
Okay. But
What do you mean,
also,
okay? Let us get
she's
to fucking
coming up in the
Conquistador horror
Northman.
movie.
She's going to be in the Northman.
I really liked her a lot. Because I
good
think
fun.
she gave... See, that's the thing. My actual problem with Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween 2018, where I was like, where's all this coming from? You know, I was like, why is it this? But because I don't get the sense that, like, Laurie lost her mind at the end of that. But at the end of the original Texas Chainsaw, people are like, oh, she makes it out, she's okay. But it's like, but she isn't. That lady has snapped. Like, that lady saw her brother get torn to shreds, like, right in front of her. You know, like, she saw all of that. Like, she's literally, like, the final girl. And she's kind of... It felt a little disrespectful to kill her off in this way, because I kind of hold I hold kind of Sally Hardesty as...
Miss Hallie Hardesty.
As the kind of prototype for what we now know as the final girl. You know, whether or not she did it all by herself, because she got help, she in my mind is the final girl. Like, on my wall, I have a shot of her and a shot of Laurie Strode. Like,
Yeah.
together, like, I kind of pair those two.
Were they like the whole...
Oh, I love the whole.
The whole time, the whole time.
She's definitely... Yeah, she... Of the pantheon of, like, final girls and stuff like that, she would definitely be one of them. But I think she's also one of those involuntary final girls where she just happened to be the last one.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
what I'm
It's
saying?
like, but that's why I think she's the prototype. I think we would go on then to get people like a Laurie Strode or Olivia Hussey in Black Christmas, where they're the ones responsible for their own saving. And, like, to a degree, she is. Like, she gets away. Like, I think, like, the definition of final girl, it kind of varies, you know, because she doesn't kill Leatherface at the end, but she escapes. You know, like, she manages to get away. And that's what happens to the hitchhiker. He gets run over by the truck at the end of the first movie. Yeah, okay, I forgot that. And then they get in that truck, and then they get out. And then they get into another truck. the guy who was in that original truck just runs away.
Yeah.
You know? It's like legend has it he's, like, still running down that Texas road. You know? But I don't know. I think her coming into it, I was just like, I wanted this exact character. I wanted exactly the kind of thing they were doing, but I just wanted more of it.
Yeah.
Which I think is a compliment to the actress.
I would absolutely agree with you there. I do feel like it failed to deliver a stronger impact. It just... because I think, like... I would say because literally there were 6 producers and 4 screenplay writers on this. It's a bad sign. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
And it
that
shouldn't take that many
soup
people
will
to
be
write such a
spoiled.
simple plot.
Yeah, it's a very simple
Very
plot.
simple.
But, like, I guarantee you what they did was they were looking at it and they were going like, we could do this, we could do this, we could do it. They were throwing so many things and seeing what would stick more.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, now how can we cobble this together? And the reason why, to me, it fails with Sally Hardesty's, like, death and this and blah, 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 is because there just, like you said, there just wasn't enough of her in it in order to justify how she goes out. Like, because now even I look at this and go like, well, this is like, if I watch the original first movie, now I know she dies in such a terrible, stupid way. And also the other thing was, like, she dies unsatisfyingly, but she does offer a deeper meaning to Lila's story of being a survivor. Like you said, like,
don't be a Laurie Strode.
Like, act on it and don't let fear overtake your emotions and let it lead you, because it'll poison you, it'll eat you up, it'll tear you down, you know. But
I just I wish there was, that's my only complaint about Sally in this movie, is I just wish there was more of her.
Yes.
Just being the Dennis Hopper to what the second movie was. Just
You're
this,
the Dennis Hopper to my Laurie Strode.
But seriously, just to be this, like, crazy, like, road bitch who, like, because when we see her, she's gutting a pig.
Yeah.
When we first introduced her, she's kind of gone that way. You know, and it is kind of a far cry considering that they were all, like, hippies. They were, like, love children in that original movie. Also still from Texas, though.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like it'd be unusual if we saw Sidney Prescott gutting a pig at the start of the next Scream, but but somebody from Texas living in the deep country. And I think they say that she actually became a sheriff at one point.
Oh yeah, she did. She says she becomes it's not a sheriff, it's the other one. It's a ranger, sorry, a Texas Ranger.
Yeah,
she
and I'm like, that's
ranger.
fucking badass.
Yeah.
Where's that movie? You know, I honestly wish that we had focused on Sally being the main character and have these people kind of be the happenstance of how she actually ends up running into Leatherface. Or if she had more run-ins with the Leatherface throughout the years. Mm-hmm. Like if there was a couple of times where she had like almost just gotten him, or I don't know, if there was a little bit more of a trail.
I just tend to think that this film is wet poo. It's just not fun, and like, yes, if you have
fun, you're a
if
liar.
you have a few drinks, then it's a party. But it's
Arguably,
just
that's most of the horror genre. Though nearly all the horror we grew up with is part of a franchise. It's, you know, like your first Halloween movie was Halloween 5.
4. It's the Return of
4,
Mike
yeah.
Myers.
Well, 5 is awful. 5 actually is.
Fuck that.
5 is just boring, but 4 traumatized me as a kid.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, like, it's just, there's some good stuff, but it's really outweighed by all the shit stuff in it, and
Like,
it's just
Chainsaw just die.
it's just dog shit. It's dog shit.
Oh my god. I don't know where they're gonna go, because there's
I don't want them to go anywhere with it. Just let it die.
Oh, see again, referring back to our episode a couple of weeks ago, I'm all for, like, I want to see all the stuff. I want to see, like, I want the 3D immersive experience. I want to be in the slaughterhouse. I want to see the day they got fired. I want to see, like, I actually think we see that. I think we see that in Texas Chainsaw at the beginning, where they actually close down the slaughterhouse.
The slaughterhouse, yeah.
And, we see that Leatherface, who I always thought looked like Mankind, the wrrestler. Like, Mankind just has kind of like a leather thing. No, I mean, like, he looks like a wrestler. Like, he's dressed like a wrestler in that movie. He's got, like, big leather gloves and a big leather thing with, like, kind of long, stringy hair. And he's, like, buff. Like, no, Leatherface is, like, overweight and out of shape. And, like, you could probably outrun him, but that's why there's a family there. Because it's not just Leatherface. There's a whole extra set of people to, like, run away from. Are we getting to, like, in conclusion?
Yeah, in conclusion, a 2 out of 5. I'm sorry, it was dog shit.
If you like Texas Chainsaw 2, I think you'll like this. If you're a fan of the series, I recommend you watch it. See for yourself.
Watch it at least once, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I will say that, like, they put a lot of effort into this
Plus,
movie.
it's free on Netflix.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I just think the series at this point is too messy.
Yeah.
Like, they started and they restarted too many times.
How many retcons was there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 retcons in this film.
There's
5.
There's the first movie, and then there's the second, but then the third kind of retcons those movies a little bit. And then there's
the fourth
A New
movie.
Beginning, which technically picks up after the first movie, but also makes it that the Sawyers are part of, like, a government Illuminati type thing that they're responsible. Like, it's like the X-Files, but for that. And then there's the remake, and then there's the prequel to the remake.
Yeah.
And then there's Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is another requel, direct pickup, which is what this technically is. Picks up seconds after the first movie. And then there's a prequel to that, also called Leatherface.
Yeah.
And then there's this.
No, there's just Texas Chainsaw. There's that shitty do you do your
That's
thing.
Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
And then Leatherface, that came out like a couple of years ago, also filmed in Romania, which had some really good imagery.
Oh yeah, it
There's
did something,
Leatherface
but
just with a
wasn't
cow's head on his head.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what I was going to say earlier. Any shots of him with the mask on reminds me of Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween, where Michael as a kid puts on the mask, where it's too big for him. It's kind of Aphex Twin, kind of Come to Daddy, kind of.
Yeah.
But like, I also wish he had changed the mask. I'm like, okay, if you're going to do that mask, make more.
Yeah,
because
there was a lot of. That's actually, I should actually finish with that. Is the ending? We never even spoke about the ending. So we literally skipped over it. But yeah, so basically, Sally turns around and is like take that fucking gun, you stupid fucking cunt, and fucking shoot the bastard. And the other one, Bitchface, that is another influencer, is pegged in the car, so she goes after
skewered into the seat. It's
also
good.
By the way, can I just say, this sort of the theater that he runs into has that kind of square broken thing. I literally looked at that and went, that's where someone's gonna die. I literally looked at it and I was like, that was set up for someone to die.
I know.
And
what he did.
I do? Leatherface apparently dies in it because he gets shot multiple times. This 74-year-old gets shot multiple times and doesn't die.
It's a movie.
But so basically, can we just say the reference to Sally getting away on the car
in a Tesla?
Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
I'm actually very confident, and that's the thing. I think this movie will do good numbers wise because it's all that's been over social media.
It's so stupid.
But this, to me, I can almost guarantee, I'm like kind of comfortable saying that, like, if they make a sequel to this will be a dream sequence.
Absolutely.
This will be a I Know What You Did Last Summer, like Sting at the end.
Yeah.
But like,
it's so fucking stupid.
It's
because
just
like
it's modern and it's like it's easy to laugh
he
at our
pulls
own time.
the sister out of the car and basically, you know, French style execution,
just cuts the head off
like
an ISIS video,
and your one is like standing there in the fucking roof going, no, it's going like 10 kilometers an hour. And
like she's not far away. It's like right over there. I mean, also like, what are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna help her? But it just felt like not a Tesla, like this,
like really.
But it's one of maybe like 4 like homages to the actual original movie.
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot of fan service. Which
there
I
was the same voice actor who did
John Larroquette.
Yeah, he came back. The Tesla ending, the makeup obviously in the bedroom, him putting on a bit of rouge, and then the population of the town being 1974, and then the door slamming. So the part where Leatherface walks in and slams the door and all that kind of thing, like that was kind of the ones that I picked up on.
But but I think that's what it is.
I mean, obviously, then setting up his mama bear in the sunflower things was a great reference to how Leatherface treated the elders in the attic when Sally gets put up with the
they've always stuff. Kind of had their like decorative dead kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think like this went fan servicey enough, but it wasn't like remember Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Remember that film that we're trying to emulate but failing at horribly?
I mean, do you know what? I'll commend them for taking a risk and doing something different with the franchise.
Yes,
which is largely all the same movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
Road trip gets stopped some way. They run to a house for help. House is full of evil people.
They die. Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah,
in every movie. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of a cool idea. It also gave me kind of like, for some reason, like Children of the Corn vibes, just from like the kind of fields around, and because
you mean
like
from the corn,
the
sunflowers.
No, but I mean like just the kind of vastness of it, like being surrounded by crops, and then it being like one small desolate town rather than being one small house.
Yeah,
because generally, kind of Children of the Corn movies all take place in Gatlin, the kind of one small set.
Yeah.
We're also getting another one of those this year.
Which, that's a series, isn't it?
Nope, it's a movie, and it's also the first movie to be filmed and completed in COVID, which is kind of impressive. Also, I watched Signs again the other night. Speaking of corn.
Oh God, you just have a way of bringing this film up again and again.
I actually will give you money if you can find more than 2 clips of me talking about it on the podcast. I dare you. No joke. I was high as fuck. I don't know why I have to preface stories with that as if that's not the norm. But I was watching it with Emma, and dude, I was like having a panic attack. I was like, don't even. It's very, very, very scary. We watched it in the house, completely dark, which is like, Nathan.
I don't know about that
it.
now.
You try and watch it.
Pregnant pause.
Signs is a fucking excellent horror movie. It had me panicking, it had me freaked out. It made me be like, Emma, don't go to bed just yet. Like, let's just like chill for a while.
Was
I
it?
Scared.
It was scary. It was scary.
This is some scary shit. Like, don't even. Oh. Wait till we get to Space Month.
Can I just say also, happy 50th episode.
I know, right?
50 and fabulous. We're still here. 50 motherfucking episodes in, bro. We are 50
We actually missed our
episodes
first
in.
anniversary.
Yeah, we did. But like, can you imagine? Like, we're over a year into this now, bro. We did it. We're still here.
It is
They're here, are still here.
Just to kind of like end on a little sentimental note, I do think like, oh fuck, I wasted so much time during this pandemic. Then I was like, no, we didn't. We started a show.
Yeah.
You know?
And
like,
we have some dedicated followers.
It's fun.
Yeah.
That's
some
the
good
thing.
time.
We know, like, we have like a handful of people who actually have been there
dedicated
since, like,
to watch it.
Since like the first post on Instagram since before we
and don't think we didn't notice. Don't think we don't know.
Like, we see you.
We see you. We love you.
I mean, people that weren't our friends originally.
Yeah.
Well, at least mine. You know, I know like some people are like your friends from college and stuff like that. But like, we see you.
We appreciate you, and we love you. We do.
We're not going to give you anything. I might shout you out.
Well,
later.
actually, no, we are going to give them something, because next week is the slab episode.
It's the slab episode.
It is the slab.
So, yet to be decided.
Yet to be decided,
Yet to be thought of.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're still figuring this out on the fly. 50 episodes in, we're still going.
I don't know, there must be something about us you like.
It must be. We're getting there.
I think there has to be a reason why I come down here. You know, I've just been trying to think of it the whole time.
So, that's it. That is our dog shit review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Still on the fence. Push yourself over into the sunflower shit, why don't you?
Sometimes I'm defiant
fucking
about
hell. It is awful. It's awful movie. Crap. It is dog shit. Utter dog shit.
You pick up a piece of dog shit that you like, pop it in the mouth, then you become famous. Divine. You know, sometimes dog shit is good.
Sure.
You know, there's like a grit to it. You
don't eat that poo poo. Oh, don't eat
I can't believe
that
they had
poo.
that as a song on Drag
Maybe
Race.
just a sample.
Yeah, there's literally. I actually don't give a fuck. I thought that was a great challenge. Seeing Fame, Pearl, and Violet, all like these like skinny girls, but
with a fat pot belly
I was gonna
thing.
say Violet was like great in that. We're like completely getting off topic now, but it's like the skinny little body with like a pot belly, and then like the brows and everything.
Yeah.
Just, don't play with doo. There's literally just a song about don't eat shit.
Maybe just a sample.
Yeah, for real.
So like next week we have the slab topic episode. Make sure to keep an eye on our Instagram page for some daily updated content. Leave a like, subscribe. Make sure to leave in the comments below if you have anything you want us to know.
Also, let us know if you're seeing our reels, because Instagram has now changed the format.
The algorithm's
of
changing.
Our videos.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it. I don't like how it, no, but I don't like how it looks on the actual Instagram. Everything is kind of shuffled around a little bit, and I
deep
think
enemy
it's
of the pod.
For people to see. I think it's harder for people to see our video posts now, which to me is a little disappointing, because they're my favorite ones to do.
Yeah, because that's some of the good ones.
Yeah, they're my favorite ones to do.
Anyway, so
bye.
You've been listening to They're Here
podcast,
and fuck off. Happy 50th anniversary, Lee.
Oh, thank you. I still feel young.
And I will never feel young again.
Not
okay,
for
bye.
A long time.